we are taking alternative transportation to the garden today. This is my four-wheeled electrified dog cart. I'll talk about this in another video sometime. I'll give you a full tour, but for the nerds, I'll throw the stats on screen right about now. It does have a maximum speed of over 40 kilometers an hour, but it is much safer at around 20 to 30 kilometers an hour, or else the steering gets too squirrely. If you live in the land of freedom, you may have noticed that everything that I've said so far is in metric, because that's just the way that the controller came programmed. One of these days I will figure out how to turn it back into American units. It is not road legal, but I do drive on the side of the road, much like bicycles do. I find that most cars are very respectful and give me a wide berth when driving on the road, like they do with bicycles. I also have two giant orange flags that let people know when I'm coming. Well, here we are at the community center where the garden is located, and there's something happening nearby, which means that the parking lot is packed, but I have no problem finding parking. I'm gonna confess something to you. This isn't actually the 6th week that I've been gardening in the community garden. It's only the 6th vlog that I've made. It's actually been about 3 to 4 weeks since I was last in the garden. Walking in, I could tell that everybody's been doing a lot of hard work, but I was really nervous to look at my bed. But to my surprise, it looks like everybody's been hanging on pretty well. I started watering and ripping up some weeds with the other hand, discovering along the way that some notorious Alaskan bird vetch had wormed its way towards my cucumber. The cucumber itself doesn't look to be doing too well, but it is surviving, and that's all I can ask for. Finally, I was satisfied that it had received a good soak, and I even discovered while I was weeding that there were some tiny little carrot sprouts happening. So it appears that in the long run, some of my seeds that I planted earlier were actually viable. With my weeding and watering complete, I took a chance to look around the garden at other people's beds and watch their progress. I am a little jealous of these carrots in this bed over here. And it looks like in a couple weeks somebody's gonna have a killer batch of salsa. Even the cabbages we saw Chris tending to in our last episode are doing great. So with my fears of completely dried up plants alleviated, it's time to go home. I'm not gonna lie, I get a lot of funny looks when I pull out of the parking lot with something like this. And yes, it was expensive, and yes, it does take me twice as long to get anywhere. But to me, it's absolutely worth it, because it's a blast to drive around, and it saves on gas. So until the snows come, much like a motorcycle, I'll be driving it as much as I can. Because next week, if the weather holds, I'll be needing to come right back to the community garden to make sure everything is A-OK.